shelter, and medicine for local communities. Now, before we move to the next one, we need to define a term that powers our next giant: aerial roots. Basically, these are sprawling roots that grow downwards from a tree's branches until they finally hit the ground, where they eventually thicken up to form massive, brand new trunks. And this brilliantly illustrates the unique biological architecture that makes our next titan so incredibly spectacular. Enter the banyan tree. This is the deeply revered symbol of immortality in Hindu culture. And honestly, when you understand how it grows, you see exactly why. Thanks to those aerial roots we just defined, a single banyan tree can spread out to cover several acres all by itself. It literally creates its own sprawling forest-like canopy. So what looks like a massive, dense woodland to the naked eye is actually just a single, highly networked, immortal-looking organism. It's just wild. Let's move to and see how this builds a bigger picture of global domination by comparing two absolute extremes. Think back to the bristlecone pine we talked about, right? Clinging to life in the freezing, harsh, arid extremes of the high mountains. Now contrast that with the kapok tree. That's a towering 200-foot giant that demands the exact opposite: the incredibly lush, super humid, fiercely competitive environment of the Amazon rainforest. It really shows how trees have completely conquered opposite ends of the Earth's extreme environments. And speaking of the kapok tree, it is an absolute ecological marvel. It's not just a giant, it's a vital pillar of the whole Amazon ecosystem. It supports countless other species, from its massive roots all the way up to its sprawling canopy. Plus, it holds deep spiritual significance. For a lot of indigenous cultures, its massive trunk towering up into the sky is seen as a sacred, living connection between the earth down below and the heavens up above. Okay, we are now entering Section 4, Myths, Magic, and Marvels. Time to pivot to our final class of arboreal wonders, the bizarre visual spectacles and legendary icons. So the crucial point here is that we're going to look at 3 specific trees that completely blur the line between biology and pure fantasy. We've got the dragonblood tree in Yemen, the rainbow eucalyptus in Southeast Asia, and the major oak in England. Let's explore these incredible, almost magical superpowers. Let's start off with a rather alarming definition: dragon's blood. Now don't worry, this isn't from some mythical beast. It's actually a thick, red resin produced by Yemen's uniquely umbrella-shaped dragon blood tree. When the bark gets cut or damaged, it literally oozes this crimson sap, which has been highly valued for centuries for medicine and dyes. It's a really striking adaptation to a terribly arid environment, but visually, it literally looks like the tree's bleeding. Next up, we have a literal living canvas, the rainbow eucalyptus. Found over in the Philippines, Indonesia, and Papua New Guinea, this tree has bark that continuously peels away. But instead of just revealing dull brown underneath, it shows off these incredibly vibrant, spectacular neon streaks of green, blue, orange, and purple. It is a stunning visual display of nature's color palette. But here's a totally surprising fun fact. Despite looking like a priceless modern art installation, this super fast-growing tree is actually widely cultivated for everyday paper production. Who knew? And for our final marvel, we have the legendary major oak in Sherwood Forest, England. This massive tree is estimated to be up to 1,000 years old, and of course, it's famously associated with the legend of Robin Hood, serving as his fabled hideout. But honestly, my absolute favorite detail about this tree? It is so incredibly old and its branches are so incredibly heavy and sprawling that the massive trunk and canopy are literally being held up by human-made scaffolding. It's such a fantastic image, human preservation stepping in to keep this legendary oddity standing tall. Which brings us to our final section, 5, the root of it all. Let's weave all 10 of these separate superheroes back into a unified, awe-inspiring narrative. So, what have we actually discovered today? Well, from the dense Amazon to the harsh U.S. mountain peaks, these incredible trees really represent Earth's ultimate structural resilience. They are living time capsules holding on to ancient history. They are massive pillars that can single-handedly support entire ecosystems. And as we've seen, they are vital sources of medicine, myth, and human survival. Which leaves us with this final thought. Knowing the ancient superpowers of these giants,